Good morning, everyone. Let us cover the remaining topics for the lecture. So, the next is cloud backup solutions. So, these are some of these cloud backup types which we can use in our cloud. So, first one is full system backup or image backup. Second is point in time backups or snapshots. So, in this, we have two different types. One is incremental, then we have differential backups. So we will talk about that in detail. Now, firstly, let us talk about the full system backup. It is just creating a backup of your complete computer or your complete system at once. So whenever you are taking the full backup, whether the files have changed from the previous file versions or not, still they will be backup. So once you are doing such kind of a backup, the amount of space which your backup will consume is very high. So it will be creating a kind of a duplicate copy for the data. Now, when we talk about the different types in detail, so the first one was full backup, which we have talked. Second one is differential backup. In this case, what we do, so just assume it as a case that we have took up full backup on Sunday. So in full backup, I will store each and every file which has changed from the last full backup. Okay, so this is what we are having in your full backup. Then when we are talking about differential backup for Monday, whatsoever files have changed on Monday, so we will keep the record for that. On Tuesday, we will keep the record of the files which have changed on Tuesday as well as on Monday. On Wednesday, we will keep the backup of those files which have changed on Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday as well. Then on Thursday, the files which have changed on Thursday, then Wednesday, then Tuesday, then Monday, so we'll store. So in differential backup, simply if we want to explain it in small form, what we can say is we create the backup of all the files which have changed from the last full backup. So we create the backup of all the files which have changed from the last full backup. So this is how differential backup works. Whereas in the case of incremental backup, we are still storing all the files which have changed, but these all files which are stored, they are independent of one another. So on Monday we have taken the backup, on Tuesday we have taken the backup. Now this Monday Tuesday files will be the same, only a Wednesday file will be a Wednesday backup file will be included. Then on Thursday, the same thing will be there. This Wednesday files will remain till Wednesday, all the files will remain same. Only the Thursday file will be added. And once this whole week data is gathered, we will take a full backup. So now imagine if our system fails at some place, then how to recover it. So just assume that on Wednesday our file system stops working at this place. So what we will do, we'll use this backup. We will need Monday backup, we will need Tuesday's backup, and we will also need the full backup which we did on Sunday. So we will be using these three different files or different storage mediums to recover our data. Now, then after the backup types, we are having a 3 to 1 backup rule. So this is something which works for normal backups as well as in cloud. So what is this 3 to 1 backup rule? There should be minimum 3 copies. One should be on a one should be a primary copy and two should be backup copies. So this is we have 3 copies of a file. Two There should be two different mediums, means one can be hard drive, another can be a tape drive or magnetic disk, so you can use it. Then one copy should be stored offside, means it should not be stored on the same place where your main organization data is. So if you want to take an example of 3 to 1 backup, you can talk about the data which LPU stores. They have different three different copies. They might be using two different mediums to store your data, and one copy is stored offsite, which is generally your lovely autos. So they store the last file at that place. This is what we have, 3 to 1 rule. Please remember it is an important part. Three copies, two different mediums, and one should be stored at offsite. Okay. So this is what we have already talked about. Complete copy or volume, everything will be stored. So that is your full backup. And your point in time backups are the incremental backups or differential backups, which we have talked about. What are some of the important features which a cloud backup should have? First one is log-on authentication. So no one should be able to enter into your cloud backup um, devices and should be able to upload your data. It should not be there. You need to have a proper authentication for it. High encryption of data transfers. So this is required whenever you want to upload your data. It should be encrypted. Otherwise, your data might get exposed to the unauthorized people. Then automated and scheduled backups. So your system should be so intelligent that it will be taking all the differential backups as well as incremental backups on the scheduled timings. So the timing which it requires to back up the data should be very fast. It should not uh, take much time to upload the data. Ability to retrieve historical versions of the file. Now this thing you might have seen, ability to retrieve the historical versions of your file. So this thing you might have seen in your Google Docs or Google Sheets. So if someone changes anything in that file, you will be still able to recover the previous file. So that is how you can retrieve the historical versions of your file. Then multi-platform support. So your cloud backup solution should not only work on a single file, single platform. It should be working on all the different platforms which we are having. Then the next is web-based management console, which is required. So it is required because you might need to manage your resources from different places. So 24 into 7 technical support is required. So that is must. We need to have a technical support. You should, if you are having any kind of problem, you should be able to resolve it. Logging and reporting of operations. Now what does it mean? Whatsoever operations you are performing on your backup devices, they should be logged somewhere. You should be aware about the things which are happening on your system. Then multi-site storage or application. Multi-site storage is required because we have also talked about 3 to 1 rule. So there are some requirements related to multiple places where you are going to store your data. You need to have a replication of that data and enabling data failover. Data failover means if you are moving from one system to another, uh, sorry, if your one system is failed, you should be able to move it to another system. So these are some of the reasons why do we need to use cloud backup. So your normal backups can fail. It is they are talking about the backups which you take on your normal hard drives and all that. So these are some of the reasons which due to which you need to have a cloud backup instead of your hard disk drives, normal hard disk drives. So backups can fail. So normally whenever you are talking about the different type of backups which we take on your hard drive, so there can be a failure of those devices. So you need to protect your data. This is the another one. You need to protect, you need to enable encryption on it. Now future backup challenges. Now what does it mean? Currently hard drives are in trend, so we are able to work with hard drives. In next few years it might be possible that we don't no longer have hard drives. We might not have the connectivity to use those hard drives which we are taking our backups today. So it might be the same as we were already having floppy drives, but now we are not able to see the floppy drives. Earlier, people used to have their backups on DVD drives or on CD drives, but currently the computers which we are getting, they rarely, there are a number of models which are sleek. They don't have any kind of a CD storage or CD drive. So you will not be able to use that backup which you have created earlier. So to cope up with these kind of problems, you might need to consider a cloud backup. Cloud is cost effective, so it will help you to reduce the cost. The impact of data mobility means currently you are at this place, you need to have a backup. Tomorrow you are moving to some other place, you need not to carry any kind of hard drives or anything with you. You will be able to use that data from anywhere. So these are some of the reasons why we need to use cloud backup solutions. So this is one type of Cetra server which we are having for cloud backup. So there are two different systems. One is laptop, second is a desktop. So we are going to store their data. So we have a router with which it will be connected with the internet. We have attached a Cetra cloud attached storage device which is named as C200. So it will create a backup on cloud. So its work is to create the backup on cloud. So this is how the cloud attached backup works. So it is connected with the router and it will also be connected with internet, and it will fetch all the data which your systems want to store, and that data will be stored on cloud. Data management in cloud. So we already talked about some of those data management schemes: DAS, NAS, and SAN. DAS is your direct attached storage, NAS is your network attached storage, SAN is your storage area network. And when we should use, if you are small organization or an individual, you can use DAS. If you are, you require only one device to be networked with a number of other systems, so you can use NAS. If you have a data which is very which you need to move to and forth very frequently and very fast, then you should use SAN. SANs are usually costlier as compared to NAS or DAS solutions. You don't need to have any kind of network in DAS, whereas network NAS requires a network and there should be a file storage system moving. Whereas in SAN, we need to have the complete separate network for the data. So in DAS, it is difficult to maintain, does not perform load balances because you are having a simple uh, a pool of disks which will be attached with your computer. So it is difficult to manage them and it doesn't perform the load balancing. Now, on the other end, when NAS is primarily targeted at storage files, not blocks. So we talked about something known as block storage and file storage in the last lecture as well. So block storage, your DAS comes under your block storage, whereas NAS comes under file storage. Okay, file data. Then San, it depends upon the price point, what things you want to consider, what you don't want to, what you will be configuring, what you are not going to configure. So where is it best fit? So this is in local system when you have a very simple data for NAS. This is for all those changes which you are going to do in the input output intensive applications. With this, your topic will be over. So we are having the one last thing. So that is how you are going to connect your different devices. So it is the same method which I said you. This is a server. You attach a bunch of disks with it. Whereas in NAS you are having different servers. By using the file server or network, you will be connecting the devices. Whereas in LAN, this is for SAN. For SAN, it will work. Your servers will be in a network servers will be in a network, and a network will be used to connect the different devices, and we can use it in a form of storage area network. That's all. Thank you so much.